What if a weapon built to bomb London could also launch the first satellite into space? The V-2 rocket was both a weapon of war and a blueprint for the future of space exploration. Today we're covering everything about the V-2 rocket, from its terrifying origins to its unexpected legacy in space. And wait until you hear what happened during its first real test. In 1932, a German engineer named Wernher von Braun began developing a new type of rocket. His vision was simple: to create a long-range weapon that could strike anywhere in Europe. By 1936, the German military had invested heavily in the project. The rocket, known as the Aggregat series, was tested at a secret site in Peenemünde, on the Baltic coast. The V-2, or Vergeltungswaffe 2, was officially adopted in 1942. It was the world's first long-range guided ballistic missile, a revolutionary leap in military technology. But turning this idea into reality would prove far harder than anyone imagined. The V-2 was a complex and dangerous machine, and its development came at a terrible cost. The V-2 rocket used a 6,700-pound thrust engine fueled by alcohol and liquid oxygen. It could travel over 250 miles at speeds exceeding 3,400 miles per hour. The guidance system was rudimentary by today's standards, with an accuracy error of up to 12 miles. Still, it was a breakthrough in missile technology. The V-2 cost $20,000 per unit, 10 times more than a B-17 bomber. Over 6,000 of them were built during World War II. But the cost wasn't just financial. Over 20,000 forced laborers died in secret factories like Dora-Mittelbau, where the rockets were assembled under brutal conditions. After years of development, it was finally time to prove itself. On September 6, 1944, the first operational V-2 rocket was launched from German-occupied France toward Paris. The V-2 changed the nature of warfare. It could strike targets hundreds of miles away with little warning, making it a terrifying weapon for Allied cities. The first major deployment came in September 1944, when V-2 rockets were launched from the Netherlands toward London. The attacks killed over 9,000 civilians. Operators were amazed by the rocket's speed and range, but frustrated by its inaccuracy. It was a weapon of terror, not precision. But the real test was yet to come. The V-2 would soon be used in some of the most devastating attacks of the war. The most famous V-2 attack came in 1944, when rockets were launched toward London as part of Operation Ceylon. The attacks caused massive destruction and panic. In one particularly devastating attack, a V-2 rocket struck the Bethnal Green Tube station in London, killing over 170 people in a single night. The Allies struggled to counter the V-2. Radar could detect the rocket only in its final moments, and there was no effective way to intercept it. Despite its inaccuracy, the V-2 was a game-changer. It marked the beginning of the missile age and forced the Allies to rethink their entire approach to air defense. So what's the lasting impact of the V-2 rocket? It was the first long-range guided ballistic missile, a blueprint for the rockets that would later launch satellites and astronauts into space. After the war, many of the V-2's engineers, including Wernher von Braun, were brought to the United States under Operation Paperclip. The V-2's design directly influenced the development of the Redstone and Saturn rockets, which were used in the Apollo missions to the Moon. The V-2 is remembered as both a weapon of war and a technological marvel. It killed thousands, but it also paved the way for space exploration. The V-2 rocket was a weapon of terror, but also a blueprint for the future. It changed the course of history, and it still matters today. Which military subject should we deep dive next? Comment below and subscribe for more.